Sorry. Folks, you know how this goes. I gotta get the shareable link, share it manually every time. View live in control room. Yes. Is it going? Okay. Okay. Looks like it is all working okay. Hello, friends. So this is going to be Trapped in a Island with Jenny Nicholson. It is the exciting fan fiction of Trapped in a Island with Josh Hutcherson, which I did a couple months ago. It has been a minute. Oh, okay, there we go. There's people in chat. I was making sure because I didn't see anybody. Uh, a what? Yes, yes, yes. It is this. Description: Taurus John idolizes Jenny Nicholson and would do anything to hang out with her. A big wave inexplicably brings them together. An accident happens. A self insert character is introduced. And a hot celebrity washes ashore. Eh, I'd say an alright looking celebrity, but sure. Yeah, I wasn't planning on doing a stream like this, but I've been wanting to stream a little bit more lately, and it just things wound up working out today, so I figured, sure, why not? Greetings, nameless narrator. And this one's not too long, so I guess we can get going on it. And also, I have this with ad block now, so we shouldn't be getting any of this. WTF is that? That's my face, you rude person. Chapter 1. As of. Oh, okay, looks like this was edited. As of March 31st, 2021, I've gone back and finally fixed some plot holes and continuity errors that hopefully no one noticed before, anyways. I thought the loyal readers out there deserve to know I tweaked things. I've gotten such amazing responses from you guys, and I'm so touched that so many of you wasted precious time out of your lives to ingest this hideous monstrosity. Thank you, and I'm not paying your therapy bills. I love Jenny Nicholson and am a longtime subscriber, by the way, and her characterization nor the other characters should be taken seriously in any way. I am aware there was a YouTube video made about this by James Tullis, and you can find me as Rot in the comments. Oh, okay. I guess this was edited more recently since the last time I saw this. Wow, there's like 8 layers of meta-ness to this. How am I doing? I'm doing better than I was this morning. There was a problem with my bank this morning, but you know what? It's fixed now. Taurus POV. If you knew me at all, you'd know I wasn't an ordinary girl, like my parents thought. All they did was pressure me to go work at the local psych ward, but I had bigger dreams. My biggest inspiration was Jenny Nicholson, a YouTuber on YouTube. I, as opposed to what? A YouTuber on Twitch? I had just finished watching her video, Trapped in a Island with Josh Hutcherson. My pants were heavy with piss, and my eyes overflowed with happy tears. Little did I know water was going to be a theme today. I forgot about the weird pee stuff in this. My parents named me Taurus because I'm an Aries, and they were both high when I was born. I used the couch that was my birthing place as my computer chair. Feeling like there was enough exposition to the story, I flitted down the stairs excitedly. My parents were staring at me with disapproving looks on their faces. Uh, you get in the car right now because we are going to take you to that psych ward, my dad scolded sternly. He had a blonde mustache. No, Dad, I don't want to work at a psych ward. I'm going to be a YouTuber like Jenny Nicholson, I screamed. I mean, working at a psych ward is probably better for your mental state, to be quite honest. Was the problem there not being any money in your account? I don't feel like getting into the details of it. Just there was a problem I needed to come home and deal with. But luckily, it didn't take too long and things worked out. It's not to work that. Oh, it's not to work that. I left in a huff before he could finish. Mom had a habit of being a static background character. I sprinted to our motorboat and ran the next 10 miles with it over my head to get to shore. I was going to LA. So she's just holding the boat over her head. If you were unaware, just check a playlist. It should be in the description of this video. If you don't see it there, it should be on my channel somewhere. I unlist all the streams after they're done, and you should see all of them there if you want to keep watching them. And also, donations are always appreciated. That encourages me to continue doing this. I pushed the boat in and pushed myself in the boat. It pushed its way through the water. I felt like my destiny was pushing its way towards me. The sun pushed down into the horizon. I had to flutter my hands on either side of the boat to make it move. It was basically a canoe without paddles, I realized. My parents had lied to me, just as they had lied and said school was important for me as well as breathing in for 4 counts and out for 2. I like being a rebel and I like being lightheaded. In fact, I was lightheaded as I spoke. Fuck, third person is confusing. Anyways, I realized I was lightheaded because I was spit roasted inside of a giant wave. That is not what spit roasted means. I felt myself spinning in circles, like when my father would light that spoon of his and then rock me on my horsey. And like those moments, I felt lighter until all I saw was black. Okay, so from what I understand, Jenny Nicholson doesn't really like this story because it's just trying too hard. And I see what she means. Jenny POV. I was on the X-rated My Little Pony party yacht for vacation, and so far it had been a magical time. I had managed to record snippets of what I was allowed to film for my YouTube, but the rest of the memories I will keep forever in my head. I had vlogged a big fury Applejack handing out apples that turned out to be candy apples, but cut the film when a Rainbow Dash and assless chaps gave me Skittles that turned out to be ecstasy. I was having a grand old time by my lonesome when Princess Celestia trapped in a live stream with James Tullis, yes. When Princess Celestia, wearing a butt plug, strutted over to me looking pissed. We're going to have to ask you to leave. Why? I said in a protesty pitch of tone. Because you worked on our competitor. Friendship is witchcraft. This wasn't the first time this happened, but I was still taken aback. No, you don't understand. I love you guys. Yeah, from what I understand, Jenny Nicholson does know about this. I get it. You like to come on our boats and enjoy your little fetish, then laugh behind our tails. You are dismissed. It's not a fetish. I'm an adult who genuinely enjoys the Before I could finish an argument I couldn't win, butt plug Celestia was picking me up in her strong hooves, just like I had imagined them, and she flung me overboard. The salt water hit me, and I shrieked. It was cold. Faintly, I could see an island in the distance. I also saw a body in the water. I could be a hero, but the last heaviest thing I picked up was my fan mail, so I decided to preserve. It did an impeccable front stroke to the island. I regretted not grabbing that body, though, because I realized I might need it to forage for food. To be continued. What is this, dude? I don't know. Whatever you'd call it. Okay, we're still going, right? Okay, fantastic. Sorry, just had to check on the stream. Tourist POV. I awoke on the sand of what was a island. There was something missing to this, I knew. I stood up and looked all the tall, descriptive trees and the sandwiches that grew from their branches. This seems tropical, I thought. I noticed shoe prints and realized there might be a weirdly shaped animal nearby. My stomach growled, so I picked up the nearest stick and quickly filed it into a double-ended trident, just like my mom had taught me. I missed her. Wait, okay, so if I'm assuming the stick has like two heads to it, what did she use to file it? Like, does she have a knife or something that she like? Yeah, okay. I crept along the trail, stealthily tripping a few times until I spotted a figure huddled up in the corner of a cave. Help! It said in what could be a scream, but judging by how monotone it was, it sounded sarcastic. I couldn't believe my eyes when the figure revealed its shelf. It was Jenny Nicholson. How convenient it was for us to cross paths, I gasped. It's you, Jenny Nicholson. I love you. I have all your merch and I say your name when I get up in the morning and when I masturbate. Suddenly I'm remembering why Jenny doesn't like this very much. She has teeth. You can't sharpen a stick with your teeth, guys. That's not going to work very well. Your teeth aren't like a flat, smooth surface. They have bumps. Oh wait, hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. There was background noise, and I was trying to get rid of it. She pulled her face back into a half smile. It's so nice to know it's a fangirl who's coming to my rescue. I couldn't tell if she was being sarcastic or not, but I figured she wasn't. Who wouldn't love being trapped with a fan, especially one that could keep it together and act like she wasn't a big deal? I want to drink your urine, I screamed 2 inches from her face. She bobbed her head vigorously up and down and then coughed. Coughing is the diagnosis for virtually anything, so I instantly got worried. What's wrong? Are you ill? She has magical young adult fantasy protag girl powers. That's a good point, actually. Hassan stream? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I don't watch Hassan. Yes, she said. The trident that's impaling my neck didn't tip you off? I thought she was being sarcastic, but I realized she wasn't lying. It was my trident. It must have flown out of my grasp when I stealthily tripped. I'd better not tell her it's mine, I thought. Besides, she probably wouldn't care, and I shouldn't waste the air I hyperventilate. Don't worry, I'll take care of you. You can call this fan service. I hooted and hollered, and Jenny seemed to gargle along. I took it as a sign she was beginning to love me. I'll tend to your wound. You'll see. I skipped off to find something, anything, to save my beloved Jenny. This was fate. I knew it. Reminding me about this is a crime in itself. You should go to prison. Well, you know what? Come and get me. Come and get me, Justin Allen. You can't. Thanks for watching, though. I appreciate it. Jenny POV. Finally, the creature disappeared from my view. Interacting with her was almost as painful as the neck wound. As far as the pain went, I could handle it. I'd been through worse, like reading Troll. For those who don't remember, Troll was just a really stupid romance novel Jenny Nicholson read a while ago. I would tough it out and act nice for this lunatic so she would take care of me, and then I'd find my way home. At least the girl's looks weren't too bad. She had long, straight hair and big eyes. She was thick, but slim thick. Mm. She was like Amanda Seyfried, but even hotter. I mean, Amanda Seyfried's pretty hot. Trident? No, you didn't miss anything. She just made a trident from a stick she found on the beach. This bitch came back with. Jenny Nicholson would not call somebody a bitch. She never swears. This bitch came back with some damn moss, 2 sandwiches, and a coconut. I forced a smile. What are you gonna do with all that? She knelt beside me and started laying things out. Co- Coconut milk to cauterize the wound and moss to stop the bleeding. We have to leave the trident in there because it's dangerous to pull out. I believe in this universe that is a correct way to tend to a pierced neck. Wow, you really know your stuff. What's your name? Taurus. Yeah, I know a lot because my mom was a nurse in the wars. She taught me a lot. I miss her. Wait, what wars? Is she dead? No, she told me she needed some me time where she didn't need to speak or do anything important, so she downgraded herself to a background character. That's tragic. I like it. It adds layers to your character. Maybe Taurus wasn't so. Maybe Taurus wasn't so bad after all. She may want to drink my urine, but that leaves more water for me. Maybe she could be a symbiotic partner, like a blood leech, rather than a gross slave I could manipulate. I gave my first genuine smile to Taurus sarcastically. That's what I'm picturing. Uh, Coconut milk to cauterize the wound. Yeah, I know. Are there any future videos on your YouTube channel? Well, yeah, of course. Is it involves new books or any old books that you want to roast? Yeah. I mean, I'm still releasing stuff pretty regularly. I'm changing the schedule around, but you'll get more detail about that next week. But yeah, I'm still gonna keep releasing stuff. I'm gonna continue doing reviews and roasting terrible books and stuff. Like right now, I'm actually reading Brutal Prince, and that one is a mess. Taurus POV. 1 week later, Jenny's neck wound had begun to heal, but you left the trident in there. How did you? Okay, okay, yeah, sure. I led her around the island with me as we explored the sandwich trees and lakes of smart water. Occasionally the trident in her neck would make her get caught in a small opening, but other than that her condition wasn't very notable. Wait. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read the sentence. Being 12 and 52 months old, I didn't have a lot of experience with Lebanese, but I'd read a lot of fan fiction of her being one with different My Little Ponies and wondered if it was true. Okay, 12 and 52 months old. I think she's saying 12 years and 52 months. That's 16 years and 4 months. So this girl is 16 while she's doing this. That that makes this all so much worse. Taking care of her maybe made her love me more than the normal way. She told me one time that my ass looked fat, and I felt my heart flutter faster than my canoe had motorboated me to my doom. When I told her this, she laughed at me and said that my ass being fat was evidence that I had eaten more than my fair share of sandwiches. It was true. The food on the island was running low because of me and my church upbringing. The sandwiches were cut into little triangles, which meant eating 300 of them was addictive as crack and only felt like one. Uh, my My fat ass and I felt ashamed, but shame was one of the two stages of being loved by Jenny Nicholson, and that brought a smile to my face. Why are you smiling? Jenny asked. Shame, I replied. You have your quirks. I can't decide yet if I mildly dislike them or if I want to stab myself. Oh, right. That won't kill me. You'd want me to take care of you all over again? My Jenny, that makes me glad. And you use my name instead of God's? Have your parents ever had you mentally examined? Yeah, they wanted to get me mentally examined for a job for a job at a psych ward. They claimed I would fit in there because they think I'm a so-called delusional psychopath. So I tried to escape to come see you and be a YouTuber like you. Now that we're together, I'll do whatever it takes to keep it that way. This is like My Immortal levels of self-insert fanfiction. Well, My Immortal was also a troll. Like, both this and My Immortal were not meant to be taken seriously, and I do not brook any arguments on that. A look of horror had spread across Jenny's face. That meant her facial features had changed about a millimeter, but I knew her well enough to identify her emotions. Suddenly, Jenny was swinging her neck trident my way. It slashed me across the face, and I laughed. Like, okay. You're not the one who gets to take care of me. You get to be in my care on this love island we share. Forever! Tears of joy cascaded down her face as she took another swing at me, this time lunging toward my chest. Giggling, I put my palm out and let the head of the trident come to a halt in my tendons and bones. I never saw this playful side of you. You know you already have my heart. Jenny screamed in delight as I calmly pulled my palm free of the trident. Dumbledore yelled calmly. She weakly swung again, and I missed, and I kicked her lovingly to the ground where she could take a break from playtime in the moss and mud. I quickly fashioned another trident and flipped her over with my foot. Another look of horrified realization crossed her face when she looked up at me. She stood up swiftly. You. Shh, I said as I twirled the trident in my fingers. I love being trapped in an island with you. Let me take care of you again. Her eyes widened, and I plunged the second trident through her head. Fuck you, she yelled. I It's been a while since I read this. I forgot just how strange it becomes. Is this the new Hunger Games? Well, you know what? A while ago, Paramount did say that they were going to start turning Wattpad stories into movies, so the ball's in their court. If they want to start making money, it's time they adapt Trapped in an Island with Jenny Nicholson. How do I pause live streams? I mean, you can just pause it the normal way. It'll keep going without you, but you can watch it after. Jenny POV. Fuck you, I yelled. Taurus had a wacky smile on her face. The jungle was spinning and I fell to the ground. The gravel was hard on my face. I could hear birds singing and feel the trident plunging further through my head. It popped out the other side and I managed to catch it with my hand. Taurus was still taking her first step toward me as I spun the trident expertly around in my hand. I had taken lessons on this when I visited the Avatar section of, excuse me, Disneyland. I was fueled with adrenaline now. As Taurus began her second step towards me, I pulled the second trident out of my neck and quickly patched the wounds up with leaves to stop the bleeding. I spat on some dirt to make mud and stuck that on my wounds as well. Ah, what a relief, I thought as Taurus ended her second step and moved on to her third. Better than ever, I grabbed the tridents off the ground. I tossed one to Taurus and rasped epically, We settle this with a duel, crazy bitch. I realized I'd found myself in a situation where so many main characters had of books I'd read. It was like I was a main character of a badly written fanfiction created by a bored young adult with way too much time on her hands. If there really is no God and I am just like a character in a page, I hope the author knows she can fuck herself for the way she's written this situation. Author's note. Ouch. Okay, hold on. So the author is writing this herself, and then she has a character talk about her in a hypothetical sense, and then the author acts offended by the things she said to herself. Okay. Taurus was looking at me like Amanda Seyfried looked at Rachel McAdams in Mean Girls when Karen was confused about something. Then a more fiery look entered her expression. She gave the trident a few twirls and gave me an evil smirk. Fine, she stated brusquely. We duel. Should we actually use the tridents, or do you want a fist fight or something? We use our fists, I said. Now I had a plan. I used to fantasize about you saying that, but never like this. Okay, Taurus replied. She dropped her trident. If I defeat you, I'm going to steal your YouTube channel, wear your skin, and pretend to be you. Rog! I screamed, lunging forward and throwing the trident directly between her eyes. She screamed in pain and fell to her knees. I had a sudden urge to walk away and not check to see if she was going to die. Author's note. Ignore that I'm going to make Jenny stupid for a second. Writing an out of character action isn't a sin, right? Trust me, this'll be suspenseful. Okay, you know what? I gotta say, it's been a thing for a long time. It's probably still a thing nowadays. But people who write stories online, whether it's fanfic or original stories, really, really need to stop putting in author's notes where they apologize for the things they do. Literally, just leave it alone, man. Just leave it alone. Uh, Hey, there was no point in checking to see if she was going to die, right? That was a lot of head trauma. I turned and started to walk in the opposite direction to see if maybe I could find some milk. With no more use for my trident, I threw it up into a tree to see if any coconuts would fall. The trees rattled around a bit, but nothing fell down. A sudden noise caught my earlobes. I whisked about around and saw that Taurus had probably made that noise because she was standing up and aiming a trident at my face. I shrieked as she wound up to throw it. I tried to move, but the quicksand that I definitely mentioned earlier was making me stuck. I couldn't move and I couldn't duck either. If she threw it at my face, because I threw out my back earlier in the month, and I couldn't make it to my chiropractor appointment because I was trapped in an island. 300K subs! Taurus screamed as she wound back. Suddenly, a girl came leaping out from the surrounding bushes, yelling a war cry. With one hand, she tackled Taurus, and with another hand, she pulled me along with her out of the quicksand. Context. You need context. Somebody is trapped in an island with Jenny Nicholson, and now they are fighting to the death. Uh, my voice raised above -5 decibels in all the excitement. My hero, I stated without even an ounce of sarcasm. My head whipped around to fixate on my rescuer. It was another blonde girl. She had hazel eyes that were green in some outfits and a stunning body that shone in the sunlight. She had curly hair and was wearing a plaid hoodie, and our den necklace she got as a 2 for 1. Had a belly button and septum piercing, smelled like Heat by Beyonce. Her nails were painted a cute pink color, had a frayed black skirt on with fishnets, and was kicking Taurus to death with a pair of cute Uggs from H&M. Her face was twisted prettily in an expression of murderous intent. Okay, I if that was intentional, like if that was supposed to be making fun of the way that fan fictions just have gratuitous descriptions of the way characters look and their clothing and everything, then good job. That was pretty funny. But if that was not intentional, then oof. I quickly joined her and we kicked Taurus to death side by side. You're Jenny Nicholson, aren't you? The girl said between sharp breaths. My username is Tara_Jean, but you can call me TJ. Wow, what a coincidence. Her initials were TJ too. I pointed to the fleshy football-shaped raisin that was Taurus's head. Yes, I'm Jenny. Are you a subscriber? Yeah, you're a pretty cool YouTuber, I guess. She flashed me a winning smile as Taurus's spleen exploded and flew up into the air. She's so awesome and stuff, I thought. I'd never felt this way about someone before. It's like I couldn't think a single negative thought about her, like she was the coolest, most interesting, and desirable person on a island. She made me feel like I could forget the intense trauma I'd just gone through instantaneously so we could have a good day together that a subscriber like her would fantasize about having. To be continued. Okay, this is this is weird. Like I know that in the original Trapped in a Island with Josh Hutcherson, the author had two self-insert characters, one of which was literally herself and the other one was just herself but with a different name. This is this is even weirder somehow. It's like she's coming in to save Jenny from herself. This is either the best parody ever or the reason God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. Are we reading from Jenny's POV? We just were, yeah. Now we are reading from username Tara Jean POV. I stared at Jenny Nicholson in the face, a million thoughts running through my head. First, like how this morning I had woken up in the shed that the organization that named me Emerging Artist of the Year had sculpted for me. I had sprung out of my bed with my messy blonde hair falling gently down my shoulders and baby smooth skin. I'd stared at my shining green eyes in the mirror with a light, airy sigh, just expecting it to be another normal day on the trip that was awarded to me for winning the musician prize. Come to think of it, as part of the reward, they'd also airlifted my entire house into the island, so I have all my stuff here. What shed? I never mentioned a shed. Secondly, I thought back to when I was scrolling through Tumblr while sipping herbal tea and flipping my hair over my eye, when suddenly I heard a crashing sound and lots of screams. I ran outside and saw Jenny Nicholson in the distance with some ugly, dumb, gollum-eyed, horse-faced, cinnamon toast, fucking inbred kid hole looking hoe bag about to throw a trident at her. I ran at my full speed of 15 miles per hour while live streaming on YouTube for my viewers. I was fully intending to jump in front of the trident before it hit Jenny, but I was so enraged that this other girl's grossness was in Jenny's aura that I tackled her instead. I couldn't resist killing her. I killed her so good, and Jenny and I rejoiced every time my Ugg boot landed in her raw burger patty of a face. Um, okay. Yes, Jenny Nicholson is a YouTuber. Jenny was crying tears of blood, but she looked so happy. You saved my life, she murmured. It was nothing, I shrugged. I play basketball sometimes, so I am very fast. And strong, she commented. She looked shyly at the ground. I've been so lonely being trapped in an island for so long. Could we go for a walk? Okay, we strolled side by side through the forest. When I say I'm a subscriber, I mean I'm sort of a fan. Oh, that's great. I can easily say a fan has never saved my life before. Oh, please. Hey, I always wondered, have you ever been tempted to try and live a normal life away from YouTube? Jenny blew the seeds off of one of those gray seedy ass weeds and looked wistful. Wait, Jenny blew seeds off of one of those gray seedy ass weeds and looked wistful. Sorry. I'm switching between the voices so much. It's hard to do. No, I don't think I could ever live a normal life again. I'm too famous and too deep into YouTube and the various cults I'm in. Sometimes I wish I could go back to when I didn't get harassed at Comic Con, back when I could read my emails with a glass of wine and not having people email me bad fanfiction, you know? But you read the fanfiction anyways? Oh, yes, it's quite entertaining and makes for good video content. Those stories are prime examples of bad self inserting wish fulfillment with unrealistic, nonsensical story arcs. Are people talking in Turkish in the comments? Is that what's happening in chat right now? I don't recognize that language. Wow, maybe I'll try to write you a great story someday to ease your sorrows. I'd love that. What's your Wattpad username? Tara underscore Jean. Cool. I'll make emails about your works my top priority and I'll make a reaction video to it. I picked a low-hanging avocado off of a tree and handed it to her. For for me? Jenny cradled the avocado in her firm hands. I haven't eaten an avocado in so long. I forget how to do it. She held it lengthwise and started to bite on the shell like corn on the cob. I quickly caught her hand by placing mine on top and she gasped, eyes wide. Oh wait. Okay, that is Turkish. How did I know? It just I've seen Turkish written out a couple of times. It just kind of looked the same, but I didn't know for certain. I was just guessing. Silly Jenny, I murmured, my eyes boring through hers. That's not how you spell boring. I took the avocado gently from her, eyes still locked on her, and began peeling it. I could tell she wanted to watch my hands peeling it so she could learn how to do it, but she couldn't take her eyes away from mine. What was going on here? I jammed two fingers into the avocado to de-pit it. My fingers slucked around in there and popped the pit. Her eyes widened and she licked her outer mouth. Okay, I'm not gonna explain that joke, but I think you should understand. Uh, Avocados grow on islands. I mean, maybe on some islands, I don't know, but this is the same island that has sandwich trees, okay? Maybe it doesn't make much sense. Come on, she said, holding out her hand. I placed the avocado in her hand. I want to show you my favorite place here. I grabbed her hand because the avocado was in her other hand now. I let her guide me for a while through the brush and Taurus's blood. We stopped when we reached a tropical paradise with sandwich trees all around that, yes, had cheese as an option, and a beautiful meadow with warm water, and a run-down looking building with graffiti on the outside, but looked like it could be welcoming and soothing on the inside. Dope. I mean, deep. Did I see that someone under my original video commented saying they wrote it? Yeah, actually, in the intro to this story, she says that she did that. I don't remember seeing that any comments like that, but she said her username was Rot. So I guess just check that out, and if you see someone named Rot, then that was her. You sing in Italian, though you understand no words, but my Greek is non-existent and my Turkish is absurd. Okay, I wake up to this, haha. Where do you live that you're just now waking up? Okay, this is where I came to think the first time I got kicked off the MLP party boat and became marooned here. I haven't gotten to yet this time because I spent all my time with Taurus, who's now dead. I guess I came here to think about her. She went from protagonist to antagonist so quickly. Forget her, I say. Her chapters have concluded. Okay. Hey, why are we suddenly talking in very specific book metaphors? Who cares? Anyway, this place is amazing. Wow. I know. I wish I could swim, but I didn't have time to get my bathing suit before buttplug Celestia kicked me off the party boat. Come to my house and you can borrow one from me. I led her to. You thought this was written by Jenny? I don't think so. It would be kind of amazing if this was written by Jenny, but mostly because that makes me imagine what if Trapped in an Island with Josh Hutcherson was written by Josh Hutcherson. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if Josh Hutcherson wrote that and we just were secretly he just never told us? You didn't know James Tullis did live streams? I do them occasionally. It's been a couple of months since my last one. Come to my house and you can borrow one from me. I led her to my house in the midst of trees and indoors. She looked around at my stuff in awe. How long have you been here? She asked. Feels like since the beginning. Oh, that's vague. You bet. I let her have a shower since she hadn't had one in months. She chose a pink wetsuit and matching pink goggles to wear for swimming and threw one of my pink Gucci jumpsuits on over it. I had a sexy red string bikini and the same Gucci jumpsuit, but in red. Together we completed a House Bolton look anyone would be proud of. We went back to her favorite spot and got in the water. She made it in completely at first, me second. We splashed around and had loads of fun. The sun was starting to set, but the weather was still warm. Our skin was raisoning quite a bit, but we stayed just to stand up at knee level and stare at each other. Ah, I wish this moment could last forever, Jenny said. I took the initiative and started leaning in towards her face. Jenny shrieked, and I paused in my tracks. Sighing, I murmured, Damn, Jenny, you know you can be written as gay, right? Someone's coming toward us. I turned to where she was looking, and a shadowy figure front crawled toward us. His silhouette was short and stocky, with a square jaw and short, messy hair. As he got closer, I saw his nipples pointing through his wet, white t shirt that was stretched over bulging muscles. He had a cute face, with nice, brown eyes. Wait, could that be who I thought it was? Hi, my name is Josh, Josh Hutcherson said. Why do some of my thumbnails include German? Because it's really funny, and I haven't done it for a while because I think it was confusing people. But they might come back someday. Editor's note. Thanks for the feedback, everyone. It's been kind of dead lately and hard to find motivation to write the next chapter, but if you guys leave me a lot of comments, I'll feel more motivated and we'll write the next chapter way more quickly. I also think it'd be fun to take plot suggestions and to add you guys as characters, so feel free to comment your requests. As for now, enjoy the love triangle that happens so naturally. Man, it has been a while since I read this. I straight up forgot that Josh Hutcherson was in this. Yeah. Also, if you have any more suggestions for terrible fanfiction that I haven't already read, then let me know. Username Tara underscore Jean POV. Stop flaming haters. Thanks for all the support. The real ones. 3333. Josh POV. Okay, Josh POV. What sort of voice should I do for Josh Hutcherson? I gotta think. Like, part of me wants to make him Irish or something. Should I do that? Should I do that? You know what? If someone donates $5, I will do a terrible Irish accent for Josh's POV. I I will do that. Give me 1 second. I gotta get some water. Squeaky voice. I value my sanity too much to browse for bad fan fiction. LOL. You know what, man? That's fair. I understand you. I would read through the fan fiction about Phineas and Ferb and the Rwandan genocide, but unfortunately, after I made a video on that, I think the person who wrote it saw it and got kind of embarrassed because they took it down. It's not there anymore. Squeaky voice. Use a Baker voice? Nah, I'm gonna do squeaky voice. Josh POV. Hi, I am Josh Hutcherson. I am a Hollywood stud with big movies under my belt, like Bridge to Terbrathia and The Hunger Games, all the movies. My hair is jet black, pasted to my forehead 'cause of the water, and I am staring at one pretty girl and one drop-dead gorgeous blonde girl. Okay, my backstory's built now. Back to the past tense. Hi, I'm TJ. The blonde said with a shy smile and shook my hand with her delicate, moisturized one. Nice to meet you. I'm Jenny Nicholson. The petite brunette girl said, and we shook hands too. Uh, the what now? The Phineas and Ferb and the Rwandan genocide. I did a video on it a while ago. Where am I? I asked, holding my head. I was swimming away from a wet t-shirt contest because I always take the opportunity to exercise, and a big wave pushed me over here. It must be fate, TJ said. I laughed at her wit and prettiness. The new movie out sucks. Brunette girl chimed in. I directed it, I said. My feelings were very, 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 very hurt. I am sorry, Nicholson said. I didn't like her. Come on, Josh, let's go on a walk, TJ said with a glowing expression. I hesitated no further. We walked together through the trees and talked about our deepest fears, our passions, and our troubled pasts. Yeah, thank you. I also love the voice acting here. The conversation went on for 26 minutes. This is something that was said at one point in the conversation. I like pandoms. LOL, I'm so random. XD. TJ said while sweat trickled down her beautiful body. She wasn't like most girls at all. God damn it. This is actually not hurting, but it's just hard to do. She was an acclaimed artist with a beautiful singing voice. She showed me her music on her phone and it was really good. She was random and kept me on my toes. My pecs were hard in the sunlight. I love you, I said. Oh no, what had I done? I started freaking out and apologizing, but TJ smiled and pressed a finger to my lips. Right as she was opening her mouth, a lady called, Hey, what are you doing, Taurus? I looked around. It was Jenny. Holy cow, I didn't know you were this good at impressions. I mean, I have a really big vocal range. I mean, I've never really used it, but I mean, I did musical theater for a while when I was younger. So it's kind of nice. Sounds like either Mickey Mouse or the ghost from Brain Dump, if you say so. All right, TJPOV. I was about to take a gasp of air in order to say what I was going to say to Josh when Jenny called out. Oh, right, I kinda had a thing with her. She must be kind of bummed out seeing Josh so close to me. What timing? It's not what it looks like, I called back to her. She was standing a few yards away. Josh turned to me and nodded at me sadly, like he knew we'd have to keep this thing low-key a secret. We looked at each other, and by that point Jenny had caught up to us. We should go zip lining, Jenny said. There is one built near TJ's island mansion. Good idea, Jenny, I said. Good, good idea and great rack, TJ, said Josh in a depressed tone. How would I even do that voice in a depressed tone? Good idea and great rack, TJ, said Josh in a depressed tone. My boobs bounced with anime physics, and Jenny's shirt was a cat sweater as I led Josh secretly by the hand to the zip lining. Who's this? Josh said, stepping over a corpse. That's the girl I beat to death to save Jenny's life, I said. Wow, that sounds epic! You're a hero! Josh said sadly. Okay, hold on. Wow, that sounds epic! You're a hero! Josh said sadly. His hair was black with a red streak now, and he spells his name J0SH and squiggly thing. I forget what that's called. It is that a tilde? Is that what that thing is called? Like this thing right here? Is that a tilde? I helped finish her off, Jenny bragged as she tripped over Taurus's spleen. This is overkill! You are a disgusting psychopath! Josh said meanishly. Meanishly? We got to the zip line. It was on the other side of my house where the forest stretched out. It had been set up as another award for my music stuff. There was an instructor named Lori. I thought this island was supposed to be abandoned. What's going on, man? She had long, black hair with dyed white streaks in it, a lip piercing, a scaly black choker, and a black lace corset, thigh high, gothic spiked boots, a Lonely Island concert t shirt, and a whip tied to her belt. Her corset pushed her big 36 triple D breasts together in a satisfying way, and her shirt was low enough to see most of her cleavage. Okay, Oh, okay, what kind of voice? You know what? Fuck it, I'll make her Irish. Come on over, you guys, she said excitedly. I am here to teach you to zipline. Jenny was up first, and she looked super cute and nervous sitting in there, not gonna lie. With a big push from the bodacious instructor, she was gone. Your turn, mister. Laurie began to strap Josh into his seat. She'd better not touch him, I thought angrily. She helped his leg through, but then her hand was near his you-know-what. Who this bitch thinks she is? I should have smacked the bitch, but kept calm, and I knew Josh was impressed I was calm. He looked at me shyly. I'll see you on the other side. Laurie pushed Josh away and he was whisked away while looking at me longfully. My turn was last, and Laurie bent over me, pressing her breasts into my lap. As her hand went up my leg, her pants slid down a bit, exposing her lacy thong. I dropped a I dropped a quarter, she explained. I thought I saw it go in your pants. Actually, I reached behind her ear. The quarter is here. I pulled it out. Bitches love magic tricks. Why are they talking about cleavage? I thought this was about an island. Use a pirate voice? Oh, see, that would be funny. Okay, if another character shows up, I'll use a pirate voice. She moaned and bit her lip. She leaned down and whispered in my ear, I'll be waiting for you to get back. Alright. I'll be waiting for you to get back, because my shift takes place entirely in this spot, continuously. I don't eat, sleep, or think when I am not around for you to interact with. I'm primarily being used as an erotic staple in this chapter for you to fulfill your closeted bisexual needs, as you are a self-insert character and the author is fixated on wanting both sides of her sexuality to be in control. Oh man. Southern Belle voice. The writing was always this horny, yes. Then she then pushed me away and I flew down the zip line. When I got to the other side, Josh was shaking and crying. What's wrong, babe? I asked. Oh, it's horrible, TJ. There's been a terrible accident. He moped on the floor with his head in his hands. I looked around at the empty wooden room, wondering what could possibly have happened. Then it dawned on me. Josh, where's Jenny? Continue to next part. How many parts are there? I forgot. Oh, this is the last one? Okay, cool. La fin. That means the end in French. Oh, damn it, we're back to Josh's POV. Okay, hold on one sec. Just gotta prepare myself. Josh POV. TJ and I walked through the woods calling Jenny's name. I wanted to kiss her so badly, but I knew I had to focus on Jenny because even though she seems totally irrelevant now, and I've expressed how much I don't like her, it's what the real life Josh would do. Wait, what was I saying? I was the real Josh. So what happened again? I know you already explained it, but I want to hear it again. TJ asked. It was terrifying, I recalled. When I was sent off, I was going so far, so fast, so when I was approaching Jenny, who was stuck in a tree, I zipped right through her and sent her in the zipline seat, shooting down into the treetops. Oh my god. Like, my voice doesn't hurt, but I'm having trouble doing the voice now. Hold on. I want to finish this. We're almost done, but just need a small break real quick. TJ shot me a gorgeously reassuring look, and I felt so happy to have her by my side. Her sparkling green eyes and perfume made me confident and happy as I screamed the name of the girl I potentially murdered. I looked down at TJ's neck and noticed there was a birthmark there in the shape of a loaf of bread. I gasped. What is it, Josh? TJ said in a curious way of asking. Your birthmark is shaped like bread, and I played a baker in the Hunger Games. TJ gasped. And we're on a beach near some woods, like they were in the second movie, and you think you killed someone by accident, like in the first one. I laughed gleefully. Do you know what this means? I think we're meant to be. TJ's face lit up. Really? Yes, I even have a weird birthmark too. Let me see it. I stripped off. Wait. I stripped my wet t shirt off of my glistening abdominals and pectorals and turned around for her to see it. I can point you to a Disney Holocaust fanfiction. I mean, yeah, just feel free to put it either in chat or in the comments section after this is finished. TJPOV. There was what appeared to be a digital clock embedded in his neck, counting down. You were born with this? Josh turned around, muscles gleaming and jawline popping with the ocean whooshing around behind him. He nodded. The doctor said it's a rare condition. It's a clock that counts down to when I'm going to die. My mouth dropped. What time did it say again? Josh was saying, I haven't seen it in a while. It's in a place that's pretty hard to look at, and it's always backwards in mirrors, so I can't read it. Josh, it says you have 15 seconds. Are you yanking my chain? His eyes filled with confusion, fear, and suddenly longing. I'd better make my last moments count. Josh grabbed my face and pulled my lips to his. He bit my lip until blood came out, then licked it off. A gasp rattled out of my mouth like a chainsaw. I prodded his teeth with my tongue until he separated them from me, and I locked my tongue around his. I swung it around like a jump rope, determined to make his last kiss the best, as if it were the only kiss in a slow burn fanfic. Our lips parted and clenched each other like bear traps being triggered. We broke apart, and Josh let out a ah sound. I went on my knees and unzipped his fly. I unbuttoned the. Can I even read this next part? Okay, we're not reading that. Yeah, give me that brain before I perish. What the fuck does that mean? Yeah, give me that brain before. Oh, give me that head? Oh, I think that's what he's saying. I'm just imagining Mickey Mouse getting head. Come on, Pluto! Minnie's got a skirt off! Let's go! Josh groaned as a trident shot into his head. I screamed and stood up to quickly look around. My head whipped towards the sound of a twig snapping, followed by a loud sigh. Now I'm no longer trapped in an island with Josh Hutcherson. A little voice said in a monotone way. I turned and saw a petite woman coming out of the bushes with war paint on her face. What the fuck, Jenny? I screamed at her. That's when I realized it was Jenny. I pulled the trident out of Josh's head and aimed it at her. Jenny held her hands up and calmly walked towards me. Let's not jump to conclusions, she said. Josh is the real bad guy of this story. I lowered the trident a bit and said with skepticism, but he's hot, and he seems like he would be nice and boyishly charming in person. Well, in a cruel twist of events, he has subverted expectations. He tried to murder me. I gasped. He said you got stuck and his zipline pushed you out of yours? Jenny rolled her eyes. That's stupid. What actually happened was this, colon. I did make it to the other side, but I was too short to stick the landing, and I began to slide backwards. I guess Josh saw me coming at him from a distance and decided to use the opportunity to murder me and stage it like an accident happened. I'm imagining her doing this at the speed of Barry Allen. Oh, that's beautiful. Uh, That sly dog! I know, but he wasn't sly enough to not leave any evidence. Egads, what kind of evidence? I exclaimed. The incriminating kind. Jenny said, like Sylvester Stallone. Like Sylvester Stallone. The incriminating kind. Jenny said, like Sylvester Stallone, and turned around for me to gaze upon the knife protruding from her back. It said, property of Josh Hutcherson, all over the blade, and had a picture of him posing with the knife on the hilt. Is that his hair on the blade? I said about large clumps of black hair on the blade. Yes, when he unsheathed the blade and stabbed it in me in one fell swoop, it sliced open his pants and took clumps of his pubes with it. I've managed to keep them all on it so far. And the knife in your back, doesn't that hurt? The pain is indescribable. Every nerve and tendon around the knife is sending piercing signals to my brain in wave after agonizing wave. It's spreading through my body like a disease and is gripping my senses with an almighty squeeze, blacking them out so all I know is the burning sensation that each breath of oxygen I gasp for creates. So I'm all right. Do you think you can call whoever gave you this vacation and ask them for medical help? I feel like my Jenny Nicholson impression is turning into Keanu Reeves. Darn, I'm late. Well, that's okay, man. The VOD for this will be unlisted, but it'll be there. Just check the playlist in the description or over on my channel. Uh, sure, friend. I dug around in my cheetah print purse I've had this whole time. And listen, I hope you're not mad that I ended up getting with Josh, who tried to kill you instead of you. I think in time I'll forgive you for killing him before we got the chance to do the Devil's Tango. Jenny POV. Do the devil's tango. Do the devil's tango, TJ repeated as she took out her phone. No, sure, I forgive you, I said calmly. The selfishness in her last words spoken to me out loud was the nail in the camel's back. So basically, like, I figured out a while ago that I'm stuck in an actual fanfiction and can break the fourth wall. To whoever is reading this, and that's probably only a few people, please tell me why you choose to read this garbage. That's a rhetorical question. I can't actually hear you through these pages. I wish I knew if this was the real Jenny or if she's actually out there and I'm just a written character. My existential crisis happened when I met TJ, who was basically a hotter, cooler, more overpowered version of Taurus John. I realized what was going on and how I was going to have to guarantee my survival in this story. I had been kept alive even with a spear through my brains because I was the love interest of the active protagonist of this travesty. If I wanted to exist the most, I would have to become the closest to whoever it was. Jenny impression is just Daria. I'm actually not that familiar with Daria, so I don't remember what she sounds like off the top of my head. Ever since Josh came to our island, he took TJ's radiant gaze away from me, and she'd forgotten about the journey we'd taken. Why wasn't she reminiscing about us kicking Taurus to her demise anymore? I had been getting more and more frustrated with the way the story was going, but I had stuck to trying to be the love interest in fear that I couldn't overcome someone so overpowered, gorgeous, and good smelling. But hearing her praise Josh after he'd tried to kill me was enough to push me over the edge. I explained this out to TJ as out loud I explained all this to TJ out loud as I quickly took the knife out of my back and rammed it into her skull like it was a bulletin board and I attacked it. I wasn't going to waste any time monologuing and ruining my one chance of killing the protagonist, in doing so becoming one myself. However, I don't think she understood what happened because she screeched over the top of the monologue, and the way I jammed all the words into a span of point 0.6 seconds made it sound like as TJ fell into a pool of her and Josh's blood. I grabbed her cell phone and stepped deftly aside before any stains got on me. I gently wiped the knife of my fingerprints with the hot pink wetsuit y'all probably forgot I was still wearing, then placed it in Dead Josh's hand. What Dead Josh is capitalized. Like after he died, his name was legally changed to Dead Josh. I pressed TJ's Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus against her fingerprint several times to unlock it, then dialed. The phone picked up after a few rings. Who's calling? A gruff voice asked. It's Nicholson. We have a code P on our island. Come get me. Will do, boss. About an hour after I called, I heard gay club music in the distance and saw a black glittery figure out in the ocean. The Friendship is Witchcraft Triple X Party boat sailed gracefully ashore, and my fixer Ray came off in the boat and gazed at the gore before him. He spoke into a walkie-talkie in a low voice. Looks like a bad stab wound on Jenny. Bring the health kit and other stuff. Stat. He crouched down. Do you want me to get rid of these bodies? No, I panted. I framed it to look like a murder-suicide. Just throw away this phone and these boots that I used to kick someone else to death in. Last page seems to be 20 pages long. It does feel weirdly long. Copy that. Ray let out a single glistening tear and it slid down his hard face. We missed you. We're so glad to have found you. There's another disappointing Marvel movie out and people need a sardonic review of it. I will definitely do that at some point. At this point she releases once every 3 years, so I don't know if she's going to. But first, I'm going to take a vacation. The girl who died has a mansion here for another month. I checked it on her Google Calendar. I want you and all my friends on that boat to stay here and celebrate things coming to an end. Ray nodded with a small smile on his face. I love you like a daughter, Jenny, he said as some people came out with the medical stuff for me. Ray headed back to the ship. His glittery fake rainbow tail swayed to and fro, and it gave me hope for the future, but not for the Marvel movie. The end. Wow, it's actually over. I can't believe I started this over 2 years ago because a YouTube comment on Jenny's review of the real fanfic suggested someone should make this. It's definitely gotten more popular than I could have anticipated. I thought that this piece of shit deserved a proper ending, so this chapter turned out to be by far the longest and most thought out one. Thanks for being part of this twisted little community and appreciating my surrealism, weirdness, and disdain for bad fanfiction tropes. I've been reading all your comments and getting a kick out of the names of the reading list people put me in, like why does this exist, etc., etc. Stick around for more stories like this because next time is going to be straight up erotica, LGBTQ included. Nah, I'm alright. Jenny is like the neighborhood cat who brings you a dead mouse every now and then, but it's a funny video, not a mouse. That's a good way of putting it, actually. I assume Jenny Nicholson remained forever in the mid to late 2010s. I'm not totally sure what you mean by that, to be honest. Uh, okay, yeah. So that is the end of that. If you missed any of it up until this point, don't worry, the VOD will be there. Uh, yes, you can post a link to the Disney Holocaust fanfic if you feel like. In 2 years, the writer made more progress than me, so I can't complain. Yeah, yeah, it's hard to complain. Anyways, I don't know, I just felt like doing that today because I haven't streamed in a long time. Got kind of bored. If anyone has any last minute questions for me about anything, and I guess I can try and answer them real quick. I'll be back in a sec. All right. As in she's trapped in time, hence no new videos. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. She lives in a parallel dimension where each week is 3 years. Boy, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? But I'm just sticking around for another minute or two in case anybody has any questions, any pressing concerns, anything like that. Let's check out some more of the comments. This is perhaps the best bi representation I've seen in media. Really captures the unhinged aspect of it all. I think I agree. No questions, but hope you have a good day, James. I hope you have a good day too, Cuttlefish3011. Am I worried about my channel's growth? Of seems your videos aren't getting as many views. A little bit. Like I said earlier, I am switching around some stuff on my channel, changing up my release schedule and stuff. You'll get more detail on that next week. But oh, King of Pointless, I'm not seeing your link there. But yeah, I am changing some stuff around on my channel. The idea of fanfic with real people creeps me out. Yeah, me too. Would you review a finished viewer's book of yours if it catches your interest? Probably not, because I get way too many people saying, "Hey, read my book," and I'm number one, I'm very rarely interested in it, and number two, if I when I used to review people's books, even though I charged for it, it was it was just an overwhelming tsunami of people who were asking me to do it, so I just stopped doing it. It looks like you did miss the entire reading. Sorry, Paul. The VOD will be there though. Okay, Lost Tales of Fantasia. Okay, I will keep that in mind. And if anybody has anything else at all, I don't know. Muscles gleaming. Hey, what's wrong with that line? Understandable. Someone should write a fan fiction about people who aren't real for once. Hey, plenty of people do that. Honestly, I just want more Wattpad books to get turned into movies because they're always terrible. Okay, well, if that's all, then I will start heading out.